WBAY-TV, your first alert station. Action 2 News This Morning live stream starts now.
Hi there, good morning and welcome to Action 2 News This Morning, our live stream. I'm Tammy Elliott.
And I'm Emerson Lehman. Thanks so much for streaming along with us this morning. If you're watching in De Pere this morning, you might have to be streaming along because power is out to more than 2,300 customers in the West De Pere area this morning. Wisconsin Public Service's website says the outage due to an equipment problem.
And West De Pere schools will be opening 2 hours late this morning. And WPS's website says power is estimated to be restored by 9 this morning. So keeping an eye on that and watching the weather. It is a first alert weather day. And we sure enjoyed those 60s in some places. What was it, like 70 yesterday? But that's all gone. And now we're in our first alert weather day.
Can you believe?
Look at that.
That in March it got up to 72 yesterday in Appleton, Wapaka, and in Wautoma.
Ooh, record breakers.
Windows down driving kind of day it was, Steve.
Yeah, and it got warmer than I thought. I mean, I was expecting a 64 in Green Bay. We got up to 68. We even had some low 70s on the west end of the bay. Man, where the ice is still, you know, breaking apart there. So that was really nice. Well, it's gone. No more spring-like weather for the next few days. We've got cold winter air blasting in on this northeast wind. It's sustained at 23 miles an hour. There's higher gusts. So the temperature in Green Bay is 33, but it feels like 21. These are the temperatures across the area. I don't expect them to change a whole lot, although we will get back into the low 40s this afternoon, Fox Valley and just to the west. So this cold air returning signals a big change in our weather pattern, and it is prompting a first alert weather day, not because of the cold air, but because that it will help support this type of precipitation: rain, ice, and snow. And that's for the Fox cities through tomorrow. More snow will fall across the north, and that's where the National Weather Service is issuing a winter weather advisory. Starts 4 o'clock this afternoon, lasts until 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. So mainly near and north of Highway 64, a slushy 1 to 4 inches of snow is expected over the next 36 hours. So we're dry in the valley, we're dry towards the lakeshore, but if you look on first alert, Viper Max, Rhinelander, way up into northern Forest County, Flores County, there's probably some flakes flying around up there. This is the leading edge of this band of snow, which is going to set up shop across the North Woods as the day wears on, and it will continue into tonight. So expect some snow in the north. Farther south, thickening clouds, so any sun you see this morning will disappear. It's not going to be as warm. A high of 41. And our temperatures in the valley will be falling through the 30s this evening, so any rain showers that develop could turn into some areas of some light freezing rain. So we could have some icy conditions around and after sunset across the Fox Valley over towards the lakeshore. So travel this morning and through the early afternoon is probably fine, but as we go deeper into the afternoon and into tonight, it starts to get a little squirrely out there. So we've got this band of snow coming in from the northwest, and this area of low pressure passing to our south is going to help enhance that precipitation and also give us that potpourri of precipitation across the area, because not everybody's going to get the snow tonight. Some folks will get that freezing rain or some rain showers.
Yeah, so there's a lot happening. I mean, today and then for the rest of the week that you've been watching too.
Yeah, and really this is the first of 3 wintry weather makers that we're watching. So I'm going to use First Alert Pinpoint Predictor to break down the first one. So today there's those flakes flying in the north, partly sunny, we cloud over. That snow kind of hangs around the North Woods, while farther south this evening, rain showers. There's that light freezing rain in that pink color there. And so we may have some icy spots heading into this time tomorrow morning. But any icy mixed precipitation will switch over to snow showers as we go through Wednesday morning. We get snow showers Wednesday afternoon, and then skies begin to clear heading into Wednesday evening. So it's going to be just a thin glaze of ice, but just enough for your tires to kind of skid a little bit there between now and tomorrow morning. And I expect on top of that little glaze, a coating of snow in the Fox cities, while areas in the north, you're probably going to have to do some shoveling as you get a wet and slushy 1 to 4 inches. Now, again, I said this is the first of 3 weather makers that we're tracking. And because there's these weather makers that we're tracking between now and the weekend, we unfortunately have had to load up our First Alert Super 7-day forecast with those First Alert Weather Day stickers. So the first one, again, tonight into tomorrow, The second one is Thursday night into Friday morning. That weather maker will up the ante with heavier snow across the north, perhaps half a foot in some places, while farther south, not as much, maybe anything from a coating to a couple inches. Lower totals because you probably get more rain mixed in with the snow. But the storm system that I'm most concerned about is the third one, and that's Saturday night going into Sunday. And the computer models that we use to kind of guide us in the right direction, they've really been changing their tune as they try to pull in more information. And let's just be honest, this far out, you can't really look at these numbers as being gospel. Like, for example, look at Iron Mountain, Michigan. If you believe the American GFS model, you get half an inch of snow, or the European model where you get 22 inches of snow.
Right.
So here's the long story short. This far in advance, there's still a lot of question marks, but there's a lot of potential for this storm system, Saturday night into Sunday, to become a major storm. And as far as how much and exactly where it's tracking, those are balls up in the air at this point. We are going to fine-tune that forecast and get you answers between now and then. But if you have anything going on this weekend, you definitely want to adjust your plans because there may be some very messy and difficult weather to deal with Saturday night going into Sunday.
We're going to have to create a new banner, Steve, for First Alert Weather Weeks like we're seeing here. We know it's not all going to be happening all at once.
Is that like Shark Week? Is that the Discovery Channel they do Shark Week?
That seems like that's what it is, right? We just see all those First Alert Weather banners.
First Alert Weather Week, woohoo, right? Yeah, we got 6 to the 7 days, but really it's 3 storms, and they get stronger each time they come through.
Sure. All right. Well, we will be ready for it. We know you'll be alerting us, Steve. Thanks so much. Now, this next story, fish and sturgeon weren't the only things coming out of Lake Winnebago this season because a local removal company tells us they had 30 jobs this year on Lake Winnebago. The owner of Sunk Dive and Ice telling us that's the usual number for the season typically.
Yeah, still less than half the number of jobs they had last year. They did 70 recoveries, and they pull things out. Ice from the ice, the vehicles, ice shanties, UTVs. And they said despite the good ice conditions this year, the owner, Don Herman, says thicker ice means more people on the lake, which can raise the danger levels.
I don't realize that, during sturgeon spearing and battle on bagel and everything, on Lake Winnebago, there's 13,000 licenses sold. There's usually 10 to 13,000 fishing for battle on bagel. So sometimes you have 30,000 people on Lake Winnebago. It was a good year this year for me pulling out, and the reason why it was one of the best ones is we didn't have any fatalities.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's good. He says the vehicles getting heavier over the years has not made his job any easier.
Now, from 50 years ago, they were also able to pull a vehicle up from Lake Winnebago this year. So this is a pretty cool story you shared with us.
So according to Don, the story goes that a guy at a bar in Stockbridge 46 years ago took a bet that he couldn't drive over the lake to Oshkosh. Well, apparently he made it about 2 miles out before sinking his car, and then he walked back to the bar in wet clothes.
At least he made it back to the bar. That's not a bet that he probably should have made there. 46 years later, Don and his crew had the coordinates, but they just couldn't find that vehicle. Then after some luck drilling, they happened to find the car. They were able to hook it up and pull it out of the lake.
And then we talked and we thought, well, let's go try to pull it out. Very, very interesting. And there was many stories about that. So that was a very interesting one. It was buried in the mud right up over the steering wheel.
Yeah, that
There
vehicle
it is.
out of commission. I think it's fair to say that was a 1943 Ford Galaxy 500. That's
Wow.
it's preserved for 46 years.
Looks like it, under the ice. Right, interesting story there from Don. We talk to him every year. He's kind of one of the regulars on our news because he's the company that does that. So
And people never learn.
yeah.
It happens every year that, as he said, 30 vehicles is normal. That's not a small amount of
Right.
things
Think
going in,
about
but he did mention no fatalities this year, which was a
Yes.
great thing to hear. So that is good news there. Now, we talked about the first alert weather week that we're experiencing. Well, folks might be wanting to escape and plan those spring breaks. You've got some important reminders to keep yourself and your family safe, Aisha.
Yeah, we have spring break coming up for a lot of kids, a lot of families planning ahead. We've got one coming up in a couple of weeks. So I have a checklist for everyone. This is from Wisconsin Department of Health. They really want you to plan ahead. So before your trip, and then I've got stuff for during your trip and after your trip. Especially if you're traveling internationally and there's a lot of different things going around as far as diseases. We talk a lot about measles these days. There's still COVID going on, the flu, things are going around. So planning ahead is a great thing, making sure that the health and safety of your family is first and priority and that you have the recommendations before you head out. So first and foremost, before doing that, you want to make sure that wherever you're going, that you check the vaccines that are maybe required or maybe any test results. Also, you want to make an appointment with your doctor to make sure that you're safe to travel, that you have everything you need to travel, maybe medications, things like that, and the proper vaccines. And just some tips, you know, obviously planning ahead by having cash, your travel documents, things like your passport, any particular vaccines that you might need, some proof of vaccines and testing, things like that. Travel insurance, if it's an option for you, maybe do that. If your health insurance covers medical care abroad, maybe look ahead to that depending on where you're going. So that's part of this checklist too. Maybe you might be responsible for some out-of-pocket costs that you might not know about if you're headed out of the country. But planning ahead for emergencies, can't stress that enough. Making sure that your cell phone provider, you've checked in to make sure your phone will work at your destination, having that cash on hand, knowing the currency exchange rate, things like that, and then consider bringing those documents that I mentioned, and then obviously packing those essentials that you need for your own safety. And then during your trip, washing your hands, doing all the things that we do here, avoiding people who are sick, and then preventing bug bites. Maybe you're headed off to a tropical destination. Again, lots of things going around, making sure that you're preventing yourself from bug bites, tick bites, things like that. And then as far as food, DHS does recommend that you stay away from contaminated food by eating warm, fully cooked foods, drinking bottled water, again, depending on where you go, bottled drinks, and avoiding having ice in your drinks just in case, and avoiding animals who might spread diseases. So that's all, again, depending on where you go, a lot of international travel included in this. And then after your trip, if you've maybe were hurt or had a fever, not feeling good, go see your doctor right away. But we put this entire checklist, it's an actual checklist that you can do if you're headed out somewhere you've never been, perhaps. Even somewhere in the country, making sure that you have some of these things is important.
All right, Aisha, thanks so much. Head to the First Alert Safety Desk tab at our website, WBAY.com, to find all that. And hey, you can also have fun with a game that we're doing with the Oscars because they're going to be airing right here on WBAY Sunday night.
Yeah, take a listen.
The Oscars are Sunday night right here on WBAY.
And just for fun, we're predicting the winners, and we want you to join.
Go to WBAY.com and make your picks, and then Monday morning, watch the Action 2 News This Morning live stream at 7:05 to see how you did against us.
Good luck.
Steve, we could get an Oscar for how fast we read that.
We read it very quickly.
We were cruising.
You know, and part of the reason why I said good luck is for myself, because I haven't seen any of the movies. Good luck.
I've got 2 of them.
You saw 2.
I saw 2.
Are we showing the list, or do we not have the list?
I don't think we have the list.
No.
Right
I mean,
now.
I know there's different categories.
Right.
I just don't know, like best movie.
We should. Let's show the list tomorrow.
Yeah, we should do that.
good
I
idea.
probably haven't seen any of them
Garrett's
either.
taking notes.
I don't know.
Show
You saw
the
F1, right?
Oh, Oh, is that on the
F1's
list?
on there.
Okay,
Yep.
I saw F1.
That's one of them I saw.
That's
That and
a popular
Marty
one.
Supreme.
You're a big racing fan, so
I was
you
gonna
really
say,
want that to do
you
well.
kind of encouraged me a
Yeah,
little bit. Like, I was like, okay.
And you liked it. You said
I
it was a good
did.
one.
I
Yeah,
thought
it
it
was
was a good one,
It was. They
yeah.
did a very good job with their cinematography.
I feel like I was gonna say like the editing and like the whole premise of they used like real people in a real
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was really interesting.
They were like
so.
part of a real Formula One
Yes.
season.
Yes.
So it was
That's
it was
pretty
a
cool.
cool movie. It was fun,
Yeah.
but a lot of from what I've seen from other social media chatter and whatnot, there was a lot of very good movies on the list. So it'll be interesting to see what our viewers decide to pick. So the game is called Oscars Pick'em. So you're just trying to see how many of those winners that you're able to predict.
Yeah, and the deadline is up until Oscar time. The show starts 6 p.m. on Sunday night, so get your picks in. You have until 5:59 to enter.
And then pencils down.
Right, and
Right.
so we're all going to do this The winner gets a shout out on our live stream next Monday. So
Okay.
have some
Good
fun
luck.
with it.
Go fill it out. We'll see how good we are, how much we know movies, how much you know movies. And yeah, enjoy.
We had a former producer here named Mike who was really into this.
Mike followed along closely.
Mike, if Mike, you know who you are if you are watching. Better fill out that ballot so we can get your name on there. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets everyone.
I hope someone named Mike wins. That'd be fun. All right. Have a good day, everybody.